finally made it. Cheers to that.
Cheers. I was talking about my flu bomb. So I put my little hearts in my cup, and I now have my flu bomb.
Nice.
So we're going to chase away the allergies, the cold,
Yeah.
whatever the heck's in the air, because we went from 20 degrees. It's like, I think 68 right now.
Oh.
Yeah. And then it's going to be 20 again this weekend.
Yeah,
so
ours is fluctuating like that too, which is why I have this scarf on. I'm like, I just can't handle any bit of cold. So,
no.
Yeah.
No. And our bodies really hate this back and forth crap. So.
Yeah. But that's why we thought we would make some comforting soups. It's like total soup weather. Total soup weather. Yeah, so I know you have some veggies going, but I wanted to make, so I prepped all my stuff ahead of time, but I am going to make, it's a butternut squash and apple soup that we puree. It is so yummy. It's so good. And it's one of the staples that we love here. So I'm going to start with some butter. It's grass-fed butter. You could use ghee, or for the folks that don't have butter, you don't need to have butter. You could use something else. I've made this with olive oil. We're looking for a little bit more healthy fat as it's so cold and what's going on with winter right here. I mean, I'm in Florida, for those who don't know, and it's we're having a winter. We usually don't have a winter like this, but we're having one. So I'm so glad that we decided to do soups. So,
I know. They're just so easy. And like, if you decide to make either one of these recipes and you don't, go ahead and puree it, you can still eat it. It's still enjoyable. It's great. It is delicious.
Yeah, and make a bunch ahead of time, please.
Yeah, exactly. It just hit me. I forgot one of my key ingredients. So you talk, do your thing. Everybody pay attention to you. I will be back.
That is so funny. So I'm just gonna melt the butter and then saute onions up in here. Usually I'm crying when I'm cutting my onions, so I was like, let me do that off camera today. So yeah, so you just want to sweat these out for a little bit. Just get them like sauteed up in some butter. I put a little salt and pepper in here as well. We'll season as we go, but this is super simple and you can make a bunch ahead of time. This is my loud automatic salt. My automatic salt grinder. So we need salt and pepper. But go ahead and make this ahead of time. We were talking about this in our groups of, make this stuff ahead of time. Like, yes, it feels super overwhelming if you have to keep cooking meals every day. That's why we prep ahead of time, but it feels really good for me anyway when I have things in the freezer. So make a bunch. Make a huge batch if you want. And for this soup, if you are going to puree it like I am, you don't need to cut everything up. Like, these are huge chunks because they're going to get pureed of onion. This is why I love soups like this, and the one that Bonnie's making too. Like, it's so simple. We want to make everything easier for everybody. And we're sharing our recipes, all of these recipes in our school community. So we can send you guys information about that as well. Sharing that with our members, all our good stuff we've got going on. But there's tons of recipes in there. If you get to join our community, it's free. Come hang out with us.
Yeah, you get to hear all about our 90-day program, our membership. We have some fun activities each month planned.
Yeah.
This month, the end of the month. So we have our first call with our first mutual group of 90-day participants is tonight. It's so exciting.
So exciting.
It was so much fun last year to be in Kerri's group, but we kind of found that every week there was something I was adding to it. Yeah. So it just made sense to join forces, and I love it. I love it. We have mutual energy and it totally works out so well. And I'm excited for tonight's first one. We have a little group of people, a little group of ladies really ready to hit it hard and get their stuff done in 2025. So we've got some events to get everybody else up to speed and get you guys motivated. We've got a self-care event at the end of this month, which I personally I already know what I'm doing. Like, I've already got my mask planned.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Bonnie, you're on top of it, man. Like I am not on top of that, but yeah.
Dude, the minute I say I have to work, all of a sudden the hubs and the boys are like, oh, okay, all right, fine. To shut myself in a door and like, I'm working. I'm on a working Zoom, right? But I mean, I'm doing a
picturing
whole
you in a
facial.
face, like in a mask, and they come in and like, oh, you said you're working, and you're like doing a mask and hanging out on Zoom with, your friends, with your ladies.
Yeah, but there's a door with a lock.
Yeah.
The lock will be engaged.
Oh, that's so fun. So yeah, we wanted to do an event a month that's just open to everybody. We know we work with so many women and we don't get a chance to really take care of ourselves. Even if we plan it, it just does not happen. So once a month, we are going to be doing that. So for anyone that's interested in more information, we'll be talking about it in the community. So you can go to the community or just reach out to us. Just a chance for women to spend time together and force us to take care of ourselves.
Exactly. I'm going to see if, will it allow me to put a link?
Hey, don't mess with it. Don't mess with Facebook.
I know, right?
So, oh, that's so funny. So in this pot, I am just sauteing up butternut squash, apples, onions, super, super simple. I can't even remember where I got this recipe. I want to say it was from like someone on the Food Network a million years ago that was doing like simple recipes or 5 ingredients or I don't know. Had this for a long time. And it's a favorite, so it has stayed. So we're going to just give that a minute to kind of get all the flavors together. And then it's super easy. We'll put some chicken stock or chicken broth, whichever you prefer, and rosemary. So our poor Rosemary died, so I had to go buy some.
Oh no!
Everything's dying outside right now. It's just we can't handle the weather. Nothing can handle the weather. So it's been really funny. So chicken broth, just to cover everything up. And I'm going to put in, we like rosemary. So like I said, I had to buy some, but I am going to put 2 sprigs of rosemary in here, and then we'll take it out just to get the flavor in there. So I'm going to let this guy just kind of make sure you put enough chicken stock to cover the veggies. Again, just easy peasy. And then rosemary. Good. So just pop that in there. I just make sure it's also covered by the stock, and then just let this simmer for 15 minutes, just until the squash gets soft.
Yep. So. And for those of you who just watched her put the whole sprig of rosemary into her dish, every part of rosemary is beneficial, even the roots. So break the sucker off, just put it in your dish. Don't stress about having to break off all those tiny little things. Just put it in there. Yep, and it's so good. I love rosemary. I don't know all the healing properties of it. I know Bonnie's better at that than I am, but it's so good. It is. The Italian herbs, everything that we identify with from Mediterranean style dishes, especially like rosemary and oregano and garlic and onion, those 4 are amazing antioxidants. They help you fight off viruses, bacteria infections. I mean, they're phenomenal for your gut for that simple fact. Because if they're fighting things off, then your immune system doesn't have to work as hard. It's kind of cool. And for me, I'm like, it just tastes good. Like, we just want food to taste good. So then you'll want to cook it and eat it. Mm-hmm. And, truth be told, if your food tastes good, it's usually because there's something in it that helps you heal and live a healthy lifestyle. And that's not just some like pro speak or marketing thing, or it's actually real. If you look at the recipes that you enjoy, that make you feel energized afterwards, make you feel refreshed, usually they're packed full of healing constituents, from the food to the spices and herbs that we use. So don't believe me? Go look up your ingredients. Try it. And then we'll chat. Yeah. And then we'll chat.
That's so funny. Yum. Oh. Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm gonna let this do its thing while Bonnie shows us what she's got going on.
So, many of you who've known me for a long time know that like my favorite soup has always been tomato soup. Not because of the grilled cheese that goes with it. Like I actually just like tomato soup. Like when I was losing weight, I used to make up a batch, or I would buy it. I didn't make up a batch. I didn't make tomato soup by myself until I couldn't eat the stuff on the shelves.
Yeah.
And for a while there, it was Campbell soup.
We've
you know,
all done that. I think we were all raised on that pretty much.
I think so. Yeah. But it was different, you know, when we were,
I'll be right back.
Food additives are in the world right now, and they're kind of making their mark everywhere. And a lot of the things that we used to eat, they changed the flavorings of, or not the ingredients.
The ingredients. Oh yeah, they did.
You know, they changed the ingredients, and you know, it's not that it tastes horrible. It tastes just as delicious, but it's also full of preservatives and additives and flavorings that don't really necessarily come from the real deal.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
we've got tomatoes, peppers, onions, and garlic.
Delicious.
And I'm going to take my tongs. We're going to puree it. And what I have going on over here is I made chicken broth the other day.
Ooh.
I made the dogs chicken, which I do every single week. But I make it for them just the straight chicken, then I shred it and I strain it, and now I have chicken broth, right? There's no flavoring to it because I haven't put anything in it. When I make it with the rotisserie, there's always flavoring, so it's a little bit more meaty.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used that to make my chicken chili last week, so this week we get the plain, not really a lot of flavor broth, but that's okay because everything that is on this plate or this cookie sheet is packed full of flavors. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take all this and put it in my Vitamix, and we're going to puree it, and we're going to put it in the crock pot. And as my chicken broth, which is now currently frozen.
Oh. I was like, what is that?
It's chicken broth. So I will make the chicken broth using the Instant Pot, because that's how I make the chicken. I just throw it in there with a bunch of water.
Yeah.
And when it's done, I strain it so I have the chicken separate from the chicken broth, and then I put this in with one of the recycle bags from like Food Saver. They have some recycled products. I put it in the freezer, and then when I need it, I just cut the bag open and pull it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Nice.
So what's going to happen is I've roasted the vegetables. So I cut them up. I marinated these in olive oil, pepper, and salt. And that's it. Here's why. You're probably thinking, well, it's kind of plain, right? Except there's onions and garlic in here.
Yeah.
And the only thing missing from this is basil, which I will put in later. But like Kerri is saying, everything is dying. Guess what died? My beautiful basil in the backyard.
Yep.
So
herbs need to be inside right now. I mean, usually not, but for right now, yeah.
They do. So I'll go buy a new basil plant. I'll put it on my windowsill inside, and then I'll throw some in when we're done with this. Because we love garlic basil tomato soup. And I don't put any cream in this. You do not need cream. All you need is good, robust olive oil. And this is the one I found, you guys. And I'm not sure where it was. Oh, this was at Target.
Oh.
But you see that?
Nice.
It has a thing that tells you where it's been.
Oh, that's so cool.
So you can trace the olive oil. And a robust olive oil gives your food flavor. So we're going to put all this stuff in here, and we're going to whiz it up.
Yeah,
and what I usually
on a tomato soup and grilled cheese. Alex likes grilled cheese, but we've been on a tomato soup kick for sure. I'm like, well, he's going to have a tomato soup. That's fine.
Lots of vitamin C in here, man. Lots of vitamin C.
Yeah. And
these peppers.
That's really why I started making it, because you know, he's having it at school or at restaurants. I'm like, I can make this. I can do this. Like, this is pretty simple. And so yummy.
Yeah. I have two versions of this recipe. This is the roasted, and some of you who've watched these before, we have the air fryer oven. So
Oh,
sometimes what I'll do is I'll put like one of the down here we have like wood chips for smokers. I don't know where else they are. I'm sure they're
yeah.
all over the country. But you put like a little foil basket or one of your grill baskets inside the oven with what you're cooking and use the air fryer. And what happens is your food gets that flavoring, so you can actually make this a like a smoky kind of thing, or a mesquite if you like that thing. I like just tomato soup. I like just
me
tomato
too.
soup, you guys.
Yeah.
So these liquids that are here from the peppers and the tomatoes go in. Make a mess, it's cool. That's why we have a towel.
Yeah, we always have one right here.
Always.
Because we're messy over here. And I'm like, oh, I have on white, but at least I'm not making tomato soup. Because if I was, I would have it all over me if I wear a white shirt.
Yeah.
I would have tomato soup all over me.
Yeah, that's why we have a top. So when you roast tomatoes, you roast peppers, you really get all those constituents out. And I don't know if you can see, but there's plenty of liquid in here. So your Vitamix, your blender, food processor shouldn't get stagnant. All right, watch your ears. It's about to get loud.
Well, it's about to get loud in here.
All right, done. And
that looks
legitimately,
so
you guys,
good already.
Look at this coloring.
Yeah.
Look at this coloring.
Like, that looks so good.
See that?
Yum.
That's the coloring you're looking for. This tastes amazing with homegrown tomatoes. So if you're growing tomatoes, I think some areas it's what, summertime that they grow tomatoes?
Yeah, ours usually do like, well, spring, because then it's too hot, like once you get into the thick of summer.
Yeah, that's us too. So like this is a recipe that a lot of times what I'll do is, especially around here and around Austin, when one of my former clients, her family, her husband, runs one of the largest hydroponic farms here. So they have a ton of them left over, a ton of the freshly grown tomatoes.
That is so
I will
cool.
go snag those suckers. And then I just make a big batch of this.
Yeah.
And basically, I'm just going to leave it on low, let the chicken broth defrost, let that all blend together. When we're done, I'll go get basil plant, bring it home, all my little leaves.
Basil plant.
Must have
basil.
Dude, I'm telling you, Brian is half Italian, half Irish. The amount of basil, garlic, onions, rosemary, all of that we
Love
eat here.
Ooh.
Whoops. But I can't grow a rosemary plant. Basil likes me. Rosemary? Not so much.
Yeah. I don't know. We must just have something going on here that makes it really good, because our rosemary can get as tall as me, which isn't hard to do, but still.
It used to grow really well for me in California, but Texas is so funny. Like,
yeah,
we're
trying to learn how to do some things over here too. It's just because it's so hot. I can grow pineapple plants really well.
I brought mine inside so that they wouldn't freeze and die, because mine are just sprouting off babies left and right.
Yeah, ours are outside, but they're in the ground. I don't know. I've seen like a lot of people are going out and putting like bags and stuff over their plants.
Yeah, it keeps it warm.
Maybe we need to do that for a couple. I don't know. I'm telling you, the pineapple plants are the most resilient of like literally everything.
The main one of these survived last year, so I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, maybe I'll lose some of them, but like right now I've got 12 buds. I don't need 12 pineapple plants.
I know. We had our first one has gotten so many other shoots that it had 3 pineapples on it this year. I was so excited.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Best pineapples ever also. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
So for anyone who's watching this or the replay, like what are your goals around cooking this year? I would love to hear what those are. And sometimes we have the best intentions, it doesn't really happen, but we're hoping that we're giving you some simple ideas and some simple tips. Woo, baby! So we definitely don't want that boiling. I want to say that. So that you can start cooking and enjoying what you're cooking, even if it's something super simple. Yeah. Or like this, we like it, so we just make a huge batch of it. So
yeah,
all I'm doing is just waiting for the butternut squash to soften up, and then I'll pull out the rosemary and let this cool and puree it. So
I love it.
Yeah,
it's so easy.
Super duper simple.
Yeah. And here's a little tip, you guys. So these soups, right? You're looking at it going, all right, well, you just pureed a whole bunch of vegetables. Yep. That's all we did.
Yeah.
And you have a couple of options here, especially when you make a big batch, right? So the tomatoes I use, that's 3 pounds of Roma tomatoes.
Mm.
Yeah. And the 3 pounds organic were $1.50 a pound today. So $1.50 times 3, yeah. What is that? $4.50, yeah. Right? The onion, the garlic, it wasn't very expensive, right?
Yeah.
So what you can do is you make this big batch and you either freeze it in little containers, right? Little bits like we did with the flu bombs, or you put it in the fridge, and every morning, instead of grabbing a biscuit for breakfast, instead of grabbing a bagel for breakfast or cereal or nothing, which majority of you are doing, and we all know this, right?
Yeah.
Reality check. We all know that a lot of us don't eat breakfast. We don't put anything in our system first thing in the morning. What if you basically just grabbed a cup, put your soup in, heat it up, and there's your cup on the go.
Yeah. And
very easy.
For you don't even want to cook before you puree, we have blended soups that are just raw blended soups. So go back and look at some of our shows for that too, which is really great for breakfast, or you can freeze that in small little pieces and just thaw out like a little bit at a time. So this is really to help you get some ideas around saving time and making things simple. That's really the theme of 2025. Let's just make it simple so it gets done.
Yep.
Yeah.
It follows everything that Kerri and I are doing this year. I mean, all the way down to she and I working together. The pieces of the talks that I have with my clients that I tend to leave out or not pay as close attention to, guess what she does?
Yeah.
And vice versa. So by working together,
it
makes things so much more simple, so much easier.
Yeah.
It's just like these recipes that she and I were making on our own before we met.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how it should be.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be overwhelmed and stressed. We got enough of that crap rolling around right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and simple. I think that's the thing, is that it feels, and I'm sure Bonni noticed this with your clients too, it feels overwhelming. Like someone gives you a menu plan, or they expect you to do all this stuff and it's overwhelming, it doesn't fit in your lifestyle. But you could make something like this that would, and then start stocking your freezer. Like once your freezer's stocked, I feel like that's when you're like, okay, now it's less stress. We have all this, all this variety and things that we can pull from, that we don't have to, go to the drive-through, because we have simple stuff at home.
Right.
So.
I think when I've moved, the last couple of times I've moved, it's taken us, this last time took almost 3 months. But when we moved into this house, we moved in with 1-year-olds.
Yeah. Okay.
So a little bit different.
Yeah, just a little.
We moved in with 1-year-olds, but in the past, it's only taken me a month.
Yeah.
So for that first month, I make extra servings, and then those are the things that get frozen. And I have a question for you about your soup. How can you make that in like a crock pot or an Instapot, so that the people watching this going, I'm not going to sit at the stove and do that?
Yeah, and you don't have to be at the stove for long, but so okay, confession time, I don't have an Instapot and I've never used one. So that's that when it comes to the gadgets, but I love my slow cooker. You could pop all of this in a slow cooker. I would say I'm like on low for a couple of hours. I would test the butternut squash. Like as soon as that's soft, just let it cool and puree and it should be fine. So you can definitely do that too. Yeah. And I will explore Instapot this year. It's really funny. Bonni has all the gadgets, so I'm like, I need to get gadgets. I need to do it. I will do it.
So with the Instapot, for those of you that have it, there's a soup and broth setting, and there is a vegetable setting. So you could actually use either one of those. And I think it's like, I think the soup slowly cooks for almost an hour. It could be less than that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like really low and slow for an hour.
I
think
okay.
I think the veggie is like 20 minutes. It's supposed to be a steamer.
Okay.
I've never used the veggie setting though. I've never used it because if I'm using the Instapot, I'm making the broth, I'm making the duck's chicken, I'm making potatoes, eggs. I don't steam my vegetables in the Instapot.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good to know. Slow cooker though, for sure. We love our slow cooker, but I usually do things that like our meats and stews and things that will take 8 hours, and then you pop that on low and just walk away for the day.
Yeah.
So, nice.
Yeah. That's yay. See? Simple.
So yeah, take out your rosemary and all you gotta do is puree, and this is a huge batch, so we'll probably eat some and freeze some. So
yep.
Yay! If you try any of these, let us know, and please, come join our group and get some recipes for folks that like to cook like us. Come join us.
Yeah. Oh, I am so excited for this month. There's so much that's already happened, you guys. Like seriously, so much.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah. And here's something that we have not talked about. Kerri's book came out on digital the end of December. So if joining our community doesn't like work for you, if you're like, dude, I'm in so many freaking communities, a lot of the recipes you see us making came from her book. And even if they didn't, go to her profile and look at all the people commenting about her recipes. They're delicious.
Yeah,
and they're
really
easy.
Yeah.
So, and I think the digital is what, $5-6?
Yeah, I think it's at $7.99 right now.
Yeah,
you can get it on my website too. Like if you want just the digital copy, of course. I prefer hard copy, but a lot of people like digital, so it's easy to have on hand. So
yeah, you can't beat $8 for a cookbook that you're actually going to use the recipes of.
Yes, that doesn't have 25 ingredients and 25 steps, because that's what keeps us from cooking. So
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, people. Do you want to show them how you blend it up, or you want to just wrap it up? What do you think?
Yeah. It's super simple, guys. Like literally all I do, I usually wait for it to cool a little bit more, but I just scoop. I have to do this in batches because it's so big. But scoop some in here and puree it. And then I taste it, and I will fix the salt and pepper if it needs a little bit more seasoning. But I use my Vitamix too. Love my Vitamix. It's it's a little bit of an investment, but it's totally worth it. So let me do this in one batch just so you can see what it looks like. So this is about to get loud up in here. So hold on one second.
Close your ears.
Oh my God. Smells so good.
I think that's the best part about us cooking together.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that color.
Yes, it's so good. So usually Bonni and I will make each other's recipes that we haven't ever tried before, so I can make it and then taste it. Yeah. But today we're just kind of making our own comfort food. So we're cooked so we can have it for our house.
Exactly. And we were going to make tomato soup and grilled cheese for the family this week anyway. So
totally works out.
The timing just worked out with it. So that's how you make these soups. Come into the community, grab other recipes. We've got a ton of them in there. I made ketchup for a recent speaking summit that I participated in.
Nice.
They asked me to make ketchup. I did it. The boys don't notice the difference. So, I mean, basically, I refill the Hunt's bottle. So it's a little sneaky, but
Mommy tricks.
the
Love
Hunts
it.
can figure it out. So,
Yeah.
little tricks. You'll find it all inside there. And you just want the recipes, go check out Kerri's book. Otherwise, we'll see you guys later.